What's going on, guys? It's Shane with Blacktop Racing, and this is part one of the vlog for 2016, and I'm going to introduce you to Ruby, which is my 2009 NC Miata. Alright, so let's talk about this car. Why did I choose this particular car? Well, personally, I actually wanted a NC2 for STR. Street Touring Roadster is a class I'll be running for the third year. The last 2 years I ran with James Dunham in his NC1, which was dialed in perfectly. Year one, it was on the Kooks. The car was marvelous. Unfortunately, day one blues, where we had some engine issues. Thank you, Mike, for doing some welding work on the engine. Yes, the cam sensor, positioning sensor was off just by a little bit, and due to the high RPM that we bumped it up to 7,800, and with the car having over 120,000 miles, I don't think it liked it. So we got it fixed, we got it worked out, and day two I was actually pretty fast on day two, but obviously because it is a 2-day event, it is what it is. 2015, last year, I went up there solo. James actually allowed me to rent the car throughout the year. It was supposed to be a light year. I did not plan on this whole RE-71 tires. I really didn't. I just wanted to run the Kooks. But unfortunately, you have to go with the RE-71s, or else you're about a second behind when it comes to, when it compares to some of these faster drivers. So went out there, was ready. I was going to dial in the car. I was mentally ready to just have some fun, see a lot of friends that are out from the West Coast, Midwest, and so forth. I arrived there, went to the practice run, and the engine messed up. So it is what it is. I had to jump into Colin Fiedler. Thank you again for letting me drive his car. Day one, I was still getting acclimated to the car and didn't hit my marks. Day two, actually ran pretty well and got the second fastest time behind Mr. Crow, which had a blazing year, by the way. So this brings me on to 2016. Saw John out there as far as the purchase for this car. So saw John out there. We talked briefly. I was so pissed off about everything as far as financially that year that I decided, hey, you know, we'll see what's in store for 2016. Joe O, Odeforo, sold his car for a Steeler deal. I missed out on that. Then Danny Cal got into the mix because he was selling an NC that, again, I missed. Although it was an NC1, it was a lovely navy blue with the tan interior. Yeah! But somebody beat me to that too. Damn, I keep losing out on these deals. So, already in the mix, John Lee was selling his car, had it posted somewhat. Danny called him up, worked it out. Danny was going to buy the car. Then, because I posted that I wanted an NC, Danny said, hey, why don't you buy this car from me, although I'm in the middle of the transaction with John. So, it was just really weird. Ended up working out. We basically, all the money's just kind of moved around between Danny and John, and it all worked out. Picked up the car sometime in October, I think, and the car was, as John says, wasn't fully set up correctly, had its woes, but hey, it felt better than it did at the pros in 2015. So got the car, actually did pretty well. Got first on that Saturday event. I got PAX first, but it wasn't Miata, of course, I have to say that. And the car to me wasn't nearly like James's car, and James's car to me on Kooks is the benchmark. Anybody that gets in that car, I think, will do extremely well. But since it's RE-71s that don't have the same slip angle, they grip a lot more, so you can't slide and pitch the car as much. You know, it is what we just got to deal with. So, bringing it back to this car has the Koni 3011s, coilovers on it. They're a little bit older design, but they do the job. They've been revalved in the past, or rebuilt in the past 2 years. The rears were rebuilt in 2015. The fronts were rebuilt in 2014. So, you know, they're pretty fresh, and the car isn't his wasn't John's daily driver, and it isn't my daily driver. So I don't have to worry about a lot of wear and tear per se on the shocks. Just got to be careful and mindful of where I drive, not to blow them. They were paired with 600 fronts, 400 rears. I've downgraded the fronts as far as spring rate to 500 hyper coils springs. Hyper coils in the rear. Thank you, Sam Strano, for that. The front bar was stock, rear was stock, and now I switched it out, the fronts to the racing beat, and then we're going to be doing the install on the rear, which I just need to get the bushings so that way I can put on the racing beat rear. Now, my ideal to run this car is no bar. So if I need the bar, it's just to, when we're going to concrete, to just add a little bit more roll stiffness in the rear and just swing it out, but that's it. And the reason why is because on Tommy Layton's NC2, it felt great with no bar, and on James Dunham's, of course, we ran no bar and it was good. So I'm going to keep that trend going, that we just got to get everything dialed in. Justin Neal is going to be my co-driver for this year. He's I call him my twin. He had a WRX wagon 05. I have a WRX wagon 04, and they were both white, and that's how we met each other. He's a AKA the natural. He's a really good driver. It was going to help push me, and neither one of us are really tuners, but to me, I think he has more of an engineering mind than I do. And he'll help break down some of the stuff, especially with James Dunham, which is also going to be campaigning in this car whenever he kind of wants to, quite honestly. James has helped me out a lot in the past 2 years with his car. I have a lot of great deal of respect for his car, and James, of course, himself, and especially setting up the car. At first, he did some modifications to the car, was horrible on the rivals, but when he went back to the Kooks, it was beautiful. Yeah, the man knows how to dial in the car. He has a good butt to go ahead and dial in the car. Him and I have different driving styles, but a lot of similarities as far as how we want the car to feel. So if he feels out the car, helps us tune it, and Justin and I can just drive and maintain the car. I'll be maintaining the car, of course. Then it's going to be a good time. Breakdown on the shocks and stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and do that on another vlog. As far as with the Konis, they kind of have their little, again, it's an older design, so they have their little things here and there. Power mods, real quick to go over them, is the PPE long tube headers. Those relocates the high flow cat, kind of like right by the transmission, quite honestly, versus up front in the engine bay. So you're going to need those longer extenders for the O2 sensors, both upstream and downstream. I do not know what the midpipe is. I forgot. I think it's a Flyin Miata, and the exhaust is actually a Flyin Miata dual exhaust. I'm not changing it. You know, the thing with the top up, driving the car sounds good. It isn't obnoxiously loud, and I'm lazy when it comes to getting to the event, changing a bunch of stuff. I really don't want to take the time to change an exhaust and all that stuff. So this performs well, it sounds good, it's a little bit heavier. Who cares? You know, what's going to be 20 pounds when it additional in crap in the car if you just can't freaking drive or have the car dialed in? That's the way I look at it. It has a rear hitch. I already bought a trailer from Chris Lynn, so we're ready. Justin and I are ready for when we go out to some of the Ohio events and, of course, nationals. So 2016, what do I have in store for 2016? Just drive, man. Have fun. I'm not going to take it, I'm going to take it serious in the sense of learning, appreciating the sport more, you know, just having fun with it. You know, as soon as you get up to that line, yeah, it's going to be dialed in, but let's go ahead and have some fun. You know, it is, it's not me versus anybody else. Quite honestly, it's me versus the course. If I know I can drive my best, the car is dialed in and I drive my best, we'll see if my best is good enough to beat all the other competitors. This year, 2016, locally, just locally, we got Brian Carwin. All right, he's developing an ND. He developed his S2000. All right, he's the owner of Carceps, the designer, and a good guy, very humble guy. he made some parts, front bar for his S2000, and you can see the progression over the years from 2012, 2013 to last year was just kicking butt locally. Told him he should have brought his car out to nationals. If he did, man, no man, it would have been crazy. But you know, he did the Rockstar thing and did well, but it wasn't as good because it wasn't his car. You know, obviously you can go into other people's car, but you have to make all these tweaks. It's best, I think, to just bring your car if you can. So that's Brian Carwin, a little bit of his stuff. Also, he is SMF champ. Well, you know, it was still in the provisional years, but whatever. He still won, and was the SMF champ twice. Okay, so you got to give that man a lot of respect for his driving skills. Okay, we have Tom Layton. Tom Layton also has an NC2, the best looking one, I have to say. Burgundy, got it from Mark Dudak, and it's a good looking car. His setup is very similar to mine, but he's running Öhlins. We'll break his car down on a later blog. Right now, this is kind of stretching of course. What else is there for 2000? We got Justin Neal. Again, he's a good driver. James Dunham will be in the car probably for non-comp and CSP competitions. You know, and then possibly a wild card, maybe one of the Garfields. Who knows? Whether it's Julian, whether it's Brian, if they jump into STR alone, but at all, I should say. But if they do, if either one of them jumps into STR, it's going to be fun. Let's just say that, regardless if it's in Tom Layton's car with Carwin, whatever they're planning on doing, or getting their own car. Carwin's old STR, huh? That car can't just sit in the garage. Carwin, let them borrow it, let them rent it. They have a trailer, they can trailer it out. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens in 2016. So a lot of events locally. That I'm mainly going to do. Traveling is going to be probably about 5 events, some of the Ohio events. Not really a big fan of the Pro, just because the courses just, to me, aren't as technical as the tours, personally. Some people will, oh my god, you don't like the Pros! That is what it is, dude. You know, some people like tomatoes, some people like oranges. I don't know, it's stupid analogy, but yeah, whatever, you get it. So, yeah. I mean, in the car, since I had it, changed this front springs to 500s. The rears are 400s. Got some thoughts as far as suspension setting for my baseline from Jonathan Lugard out on the West Coast. The car currently has an OSG differential. Sorry, Lugard, I'm just not a fan of how it's set up. You're saying that the car isn't optimal, at least set up for it, which I'm sure that is the case, but quite honestly, I'm just going to go with what I know works and what I felt comfortable with. So there will be an OSG differential for the NC2 up for sale. Custom settings from your man, Jonathan Lugard. So I'm going back to the stock one. If not, I'll go with the Quafe. Why? Drove Tom Layton's car with the stock. Felt great. Drove obviously James Dunham's car, loved it the first time I drove, and then when he switched to the Quafe, he also dialed it in, and it felt great. So I am just going with what I know. There's no knock to any of those other differentials out there. I'm sure they're good once you set it up correctly, but I ain't got time for that, man. Yeah. I got a shift knob, 6-speed shift knob, the little red thing right there, and then I also have a Mobius action / dash cam that I already wired in, not wired in, but it's now mounted on the car right in the center right here. And you can go ahead, and it was easy. It turns on as soon as I turn the car on, so I don't have to fuss with anything, and I can break down that video later. Up top, John Lee already had his mount for the GoPro, so I'm good to go with that if I want to put a GoPro up top to see how close I'm getting to the cones. Car is running strong. I got a race seat. This is stock. I have a Recaro SPG that I'll be installing as we get closer to the season. And this year I have 2 sets of tires, one with the Koseis 17 by 9s, and then another with the PFO ones. Yeah, not the R ones, but the other good looking one. And those are both wrapped in 255/40 17 RE-71 tires. Just so much freaking crap to say. All right, so yeah, I know it's been a little bit long. This is the first vlog. I'm not going to try and stretch it out this long. Moving forward, I just want to kind of break down the car, give a little bit of story about the car, why I chose the car, and you know, just gonna have fun, man. Just gonna have fun. Can't wait for the season to start. It's gonna be competitive and just a joy. So hope you guys enjoyed. Keep watching the vlogs. Tell me guys what you think. I'll give my feedback on what we're doing on the car and all sorts of little tweaks and my impressions of the day. Whether it is a school that I go to and get some seat time, or whether it is at an actual event. So I just want to, something I've never done was a vlog like this, especially for the race season. So I just want to kind of put my input out there, and hopefully, you know, with the new ND out, that the NC I can try and show that the NC can still do its work. Myself and Tom, which are going to be tag team in the year with twin NCs. So that's it, guys. Yeah, have a good one. Thanks for watching.